Okay, so thank you for joining my class. Okay, thank you for joining my class. Today we are going to talk about introduction to internal controls in accounting. So in this topic, we are going to explore the importance of internal controls in accounting and their role in safeguarding assets, ensuring accuracy of financial information, and promoting operational efficiency within organization. So as you all know, internal control plays a vital role in mitigating risk, preventing fraud, and maintaining the reliability of financial records. Therefore, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about the components, the types, benefit, challenges, and the real-world examples of internal control. So therefore, let's begin with my first slide. So in my first slide, where I'm going to talk about the definition of internal control. So internal controls are the procedures and policies implemented by an organization to safeguard its assets, ensure accuracy of financial information, and promote operation efficiency. So from the definition, I think this is self-explanatory. If you want to get this thing, you're going to talk about the procedure, policies, and therefore. So I'm going to my third slide, or I'm going to my next slide. In the next slide, I'm talking about the objective of internal controls. From the objective of internal control, if you know the definition of internal control, you can derive some objective. So here I have like five objectives, whereby the first objective is protecting assets from loss, misuse, or theft. The second one is ensuring reliability and accuracy of financial records. Another one is promoting adherence to laws and regulation. The next one is preventing and detecting fraud. And the last one is enhancing operational efficiency. So these are the objectives of internal control. If you remember the definition of internal control, I'm sure you personally, before reading about the objective, you could have derived at least two or three objectives of internal control. So the next slide talks about the components of internal control. In my slide, I have like five components, so I'm going to just list them randomly, whereby we have control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication, and monitoring. So there are things which are self-explanatory in the components of internal control. For instance, if you look at the risk assessment, this is the instance where you identify and assess potential risk in an organization. Then control activities. These are the procedures and policies designed to mitigate identified risks. Then we have also information and communication, whereby we ensure the relevant and accurate information is communicated effectively throughout the organization or the business. We also have monitoring, whereby the ongoing assessment of the effectiveness is the ongoing assessment of the effectiveness of internal controls. So I'm going to my other slide, whereby I talk about the types of internal control. There are three types of internal control, which are preventive control that involve the measure that aim to prevent errors from occurring. Then we have another one, which is detective control. These are procedures that can be used to identify errors after they have occurred. These can be such as reviews or audits. Then the last one, we have corrective control. These are actions taken to rectify errors and prevent their occurrence, such as implementing new procedures, or in some cases by providing additional training to prevent such errors. So in my next slide, I'm talking about the examples of internal control. So in examples of internal control, in my case, I have like six of them. You can also go and Google. I'm sure there are more than six examples of internal control. So I'm going to talk about the six internal controls, whereby I have segregation of duties. This is whereby you divide responsibility among different people to prevent the event of error or fraud. Then the other one is approval or authorization. This is whereby in before somebody accesses something, they have to have the appropriate authorization to make sure transactions or anything in the organization has to go through. Then the other one is physical controls. This is whereby you use things like safes, logs, and security systems to protect assets from unauthorized individuals. Then the other one is record keeping and documentation. In this case, documentation enables organization to maintain accurate and complete financial information or data. Then the other one is review and reconciliation, where regularly comparing different sets of records to identify discrepancies. Then the last one is external audits and internal audits, whereby independent assessment of the organization financial process and controls. So I think for the example of control, those are the only things I had. So I'm going to my next slide, whereby I'm talking about the benefits of internal control. If you look at the definition of internal control, I'm sure you'll try to get like two benefits from there. So these are easy things to identify. So in this case, I have like 6 of them, whereby I know there are more than 6, which in your free time you can also check and confirm more benefits of internal control. I'm going to read them randomly. I have minimizing the risk of fraud and errors, enhancing the reliability of financial information, complying with the legal requirements, improving operational efficiency, strengthening investor confidence, and the last one, facilitating effective decision making. We cannot talk about the benefits without talking about the challenges. So I'm going to talk about the challenges in implementing internal controls. Uh, of course, you will find costs as a challenge, because it will be expensive to implement the internal control. Let's say you're putting a security system, it will have to be expensive. Another one, keeping up with evolving risk and technologies. There are many different ways. People come up with different techniques daily to scam people and everything. So another one is ensuring employee compliance and understanding. Then the next one is maintaining the appropriate level of documentation. Then the last one is balancing control and efficiency. So after discussing all that, I have a conclusion here. In my conclusion part, I'm sure we're going to do a recap of what we've done. Mr. Ngayu, help us with you can say 1 or 2 challenges before we finish, or maybe I'll prefer you talk about the definition of internal controls. Definition, Mr. Ngayu, you can talk about the definition of internal controls. Definition of internal controls.
So we have internal controls as the procedure and policies implemented by an organization to safeguard its assets, ensure accuracy of financial information, and promote operational efficiency.
Yeah, that's perfect, Mr. Ngayu. Thank you. I think Arika, from the definition, we can be able to get the benefits. We can be able to get the objectives. We can derive some objective benefits, and from understanding the definition, we can also identify some of the challenges in implementing internal control. So, in any organization, internal control is a very key thing, and it should be implemented using a thorough process. So that's if anybody has a question or a question. uh, okay, Mr. Godfrey, do you have a question? Okay, sure. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you taking your time to listen to me. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Sina for